Let's call it to order. Roll call, establishment employees.
Denhart.
Here.
Fisher.
Here.
McConnell.
Here.
Wilson. Here. Carver.
Here. Approval of agenda for the work session. Approve the agenda. Second. Second, to approve the agenda, please call the roll.
John.
John, did you have that?
Hey. Fisher.
Aye.
Wilson. Aye. Denhart.
Aye.
McConnell.
Aye.
Carver.
Aye. Board goals. This is the first thing to establish our 21-22 board goals.
And I put last year's goals in
Last
your.
year's,
Yep.
yeah, in the packet. On the computer, if you were able to negotiate that. I'm not sure we've found new ways to effectively interact and communicate. As things continue to be unusual, so maybe this next year we can get back to more normal kinds of communication. In the past, we had board members come to lunch and that sort of thing, and visit with students or teachers. I thought that was pretty effective. Yeah. So maybe we need to. We have the 3 to 5 year facilities plan, but I think we probably continue to follow through.
Yeah, I'd like to, my brain is working very good. To me, we've got it developed. I don't know, it's, to me, ongoing review or something of that nature would be.
Well, yeah, I need to continue to develop it moving forward out 5 years because we're,
Should be a rolling.
back a year, so yeah,
A rolling 5 years.
yeah, do a rolling 5-year plan, so.
Can you tell us what our graduation rate was last year?
I don't have that on top of my head. The
Sure.
year before it was 100%, because of COVID. We had
Yeah.
Yep, 1.45. That's what it won't be final until October. Finalizes it, but that's what I got. Right now.
Everybody here what they're talking about there.
1.45 and unspent balance is what I'm predicting.
Oh, wow. That's meeting our goal.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's good. Does that include the ESSER funds?
Mhm.
It does, so we've kind of got a gift there. Yeah.
But you've got to remember that only some of that was up front. Like right now, today, we're approving a bunch of expenditures that we had to make, and I can't ask for reimbursement for those until November.
So
They
you're not-
changed it. The first step we got up front, but since then, now it's a reimbursement process.
So in that 1.45, that doesn't include the
The new
yet to
stuff.
be reimbursed.
Right. And that'll be spent before it's reimbursed, so that's just, that's not gonna be any part of that
It's
step
gotta be
balance there.
nailed. Yeah,
Right.
I understand. Yeah. But that's good that we're at that level.
I'll just have to hope enrollment's up.
Did we talk about exploring new ways to effectively interact and communicate with students, staff, parents, and public?
Dr. Carter, we kind of talked about trying to get back to, board members being able to come to lunch and some of those things.
Yeah, I was just my comment was gonna be, I kind of feel like that's been really hard the last year and a half to do, because I've been kind of reluctant to go into the schools and.
Do you have any board what's for a new website that is a communication tool?
We've got an actual phone app too that blasts out to people that's actually designed for phones as opposed to take you to a website and choice select. So.
I think the last one was also almost put on hold with regards to recruitment of students from other districts to the Career Academy. But I think we need to continue to do that and try to move forward. And hopefully we have a better environment to be able to do that.
we can have as many goals as we want, can't we? Can we add goals onto this if we wish?
Anything more?
You certainly can, you start to do your efforts when you get too many things to do, but yeah, what do you have an idea of something?
Well, in light of the new state guidelines or laws, I guess, on the with the divisive concepts bill, I wonder if we ought to make one of our goals to be to prioritize monitoring curriculum and make sure that it's balanced and accurate in all levels of our curriculum. And that'd be more of a thing that, to kind of focus towards our administration. I talked to Mr. Phillips today about that, and I asked him, I says, have you guys, he said he'd been to a meeting recently on school administrators of Iowa, and they had several sessions on that. And I said, well, how do we plan on implementing that here and monitoring, whether or not we're doing things the way that we should be? And, he had some ideas. Do we really have a plan for that?
I would say we do it from the standpoint of doing a lot more. I'll let you speak to it. Actually, tomorrow, meeting with teachers, developing what we're, the coaches met all summer, developing what we're calling a playbook. That we'll be going over that with them in terms of what expectations are and how we're, our goal for the next 5 years in terms of guaranteed and viable curriculum that you're talking about. But it's about getting into classrooms and making observations and collecting data and those things. So you could.
Right, so the guaranteed viable curriculum part doesn't come until level 3, so we won't be attacking that really at this point in time yet, because we're working on the collaboration piece and making sure that we've got this two-way communication going. And then the second level is more about a little bit about tier 1, so core instruction, what's happening for all kids in a differentiated way, and the strategies that we would use in order to make sure that we're meeting the kids' needs for that. But then identifying our guaranteed and viable curriculum, so guaranteed meaning every student gets it, and viable meaning you've got the time and the resources designated to it to actually make it come to fruition. That comes in the next level. So we'll be working a little bit there, but really probably more of a focus will go on that the following year in the curriculum piece.
Yeah, I just wondered if that ought to be a goal that we should prioritize, making sure that is instituted throughout our district and just monitoring it.
And we've been working for a long time and continue to make sure that every teacher identifies what they just consider to be their essential standards that they're teaching, and we're continually monitoring and working on that. But, as a tie-in as well. But do you have that wording that you?
Well, I just wrote down prioritize. I mean, one of our goals is, I just wrote down to prioritize monitoring curriculum to be balanced and accurate in line with whatever you want to call that law, that new law that just came out. I don't know if it has a label or a title, does it? Karen?
One of the items, and I think House File 847, I think.
Yeah.
Is that accurate?
I just know that.
House File 587. 847.
Yeah, so.
I think in the past, we kind of wrote these up and then approved them at the next board meeting. So we'll
We
try
might
to-
hit them
All right, yeah.
briefly.
I have a question about it.
Next one.
Does the whole state do their more goals like this month? It just seems weird to me that we would, means that the election is in November, that we would set more goals and then possibly have a new board. I just was
We could
curious.
wait and not.
No, we don't have to. I just thought that was kind of,
I'd say.
is that how we've always done it?
Probably back when the election used to be in September.
Right.
So,
I just had a question.
That's a very good point.
I mean, I think
Yes.
I think it coincides with the school year, but yeah, I don't know
it's
what.
fine. Just thinking about that when I was thinking of over the
Moving the
goals
thing
that,
with the election.
yeah, they shouldn't have moved the election. You tell them that, Brenda.
Nobody cares what Brenda thinks.
It typically takes a new board member about 9 months to get up to speed.
9 months. We might have you that.
I'm just talking about getting up to the reasonable.
Right. Maybe having an idea what your goals want to be.
Yeah, I think it'd be good. So,
We'll write something up and try to.
yeah, thanks.
Wordsmith. But I'd agree, you get too many goals, it's tough to
Yeah,
follow through.
follow through with things. And I know that some school boards have set of questions they ask at the end of each meeting. Did I do this, and this that relate to what my
What our goals are.
goals are? We've never done that. It's kind of cumbersome, I think. And
Which is good when there's a normal board meeting, but the time you have a 3-hour board meeting and you want to
Yeah.
put that on the end of it,
Yeah.
then everybody's like, ugh.
I'm gonna get the work done. Let's get on to the next thing.
We had the one, I remember years ago, asked board members a positive comment at the end that, again, started out well. I mean, it was a good thing, but just like you're talking about after a 3-hour meeting, it's like, oh my God.
I'm not good to say.
That's right.
The 3-hour meeting was not a positive thing. Okay, any other?
So you basically want to keep the same ones, tweak them just a little and add one more, right? Okay. Okay.
We'll bring back the master plan. Okay. Associated School Boards Convention.
Guess I just kind of wanted to know if you want to go, and if you want to go, do you want to stay all night? It is, and again, it's weird and awkward because it's right after the election, so not everybody.
Elections on Tuesday and then
Yeah.
the convention's Thursday.
Well, no, it's
It's a week
no,
later.
no, it might be 2 weeks later.
What is the date, Brenda?
It's November 17th and 18th. But, it does cost, $95 for every pre-convention workshop you go to and $200 for the next day on Thursday. So think about if you really would go or not before, because you won't get your money back if you register and then you just don't show up. But you can't cancel ahead of time if you don't go or,
How soon do we have to know?
but
Up to
we can talk next month about it
Yeah.
again. The more concern might be whether you want to stay all night or not, and if we can get rooms. But I'm putting it on your radar, and we can talk about it next month. Is that okay?
Can we just get a room and not go to the convention? What's that? So can we just get a room and not go to the convention? Use those as our one per convention.
We're live.
Everybody's thinking it. I plan to be hunting and not be on the board, so.
You've heard of write-in candidates, haven't you?
I've encouraged people to step up.
Are there any other candidates now? Yeah.
Nobody's turned in, but you're not supposed to turn them in until next week. I did hear that a man from Rippey, took out some papers, from the courthouse, not from me. Catherine's got a set of papers. And I've got some in my office if anybody wants to pick some up.
But the deadline is next week, you said?
No. That's the first day you can turn them in.
Oh, okay.
No,
What
it's in
is-
September.
September 16th is the last day.
Okay.
Okay. Other non-action items, reports.
We'll do administrative reports then.
Mr. Johnson, are you on right now?
We got the parent teacher, or mini conferences, so he was gonna be on, so.
Mr. Sanders?
Yeah, buildings look really good. It was great to see things kind of come to conclusion in our building. Lots of things that were still kind of undone are now done. Floor's got a nice cleaning and polish, everything's shining. Outside looks awesome. Awesome there. Outside looks really good too. Some fresh paint inside. We got new technology. If you get a chance, walk through the building and see the interactive Clever Touch boards. We've got training on those now. I saw some of them up and going today as we had mini conferences. So I think teachers are excited about that. I even turned one on yesterday and didn't break it. That's good news. Yeah, for me. We got a new schedule. Mrs. Shannon worked really hard with the teachers to get something that was, I think, improved for their functionality, and they seem really excited about it. So that's a great thing.
Can you maybe just highlight what the change is?
Yeah, we moved from shorter class periods, more of them, to longer class periods, fewer transitions, but doing some of those shorter activities within the core class time period. So we're looking at 58, 59-minute class periods now, which is good because it causes our teachers, I think, to do a lot of different activities. But it also allots a set period of time at the end of each of those blocks that they can provide the interventions right in the classroom at that time. And the technology that that you've purchased and we've been given to use really helps us with that too, with blended learning principles. Things that we set up last year to get through the year are now really meaningful tools for us to differentiate instruction for kids. So those are really good things.
No study halls.
And no study hall. That's a really good thing at middle school. Best intentions at the beginning of the year and worst of outcomes by November. Easy. We also have a nice new behavior tool that unfortunately, the middle school is placed on an improvement plan, not meeting our goals. We're working on that, but with that comes some funding that we're able to use, and we've chosen to invest in learning about PBIS more. We have not done that at the middle level, so we've got a team that's identified and will receive training this year. But that's a 3-year process. So as a stopgap measure, we've adopted something called Classcraft, which gamifies behavior and hopefully meets middle school kids where they're at. Really, like, we've got a lot of kids that play video games, and the terms, the avatar that they'll produce, and the reward systems and things that will reinforce their behavior in a positive way are right up their alley. And we did training on that yesterday. So I'm very hopeful. It's early, it's new. You always want to go into something hopeful. So I'm hopeful, and we're gonna keep pushing and see it through. But that's where we're at with those. So we're excited. A lot of new things, a lot of fun things. Just things have got the polish on them right now, and that's always exciting.
Yeah.
Thank you. Mr. Phillips, are you on?
Is that a no?
I'm thinking, okay.
Mrs. Sandberg?
So beginning of the year, lots of stuff going on in my world. As Tim said earlier, coaches and I have been doing a lot of work this summer getting ready for what we'll roll out tomorrow as our Greene County playbook, and that will be something, really what it does, our purpose for it is to take all the things that we've been doing these last several years and putting it together in a framework that shows where all the pieces fit in one common path or goal, and that they're not all separate things, how these things work together, explaining where and how we'll collect the data to know whether we're moving in the right direction. It ties it to the work that we did with the committee prior to our long spring break that we went on in 2020, working on a vision and getting that formulated. So it's just going to tie all of those things together, and then we will be collecting data, going back to it, adjusting goals, and working. It's really part of our continuous improvement system is what really it's about. So we've been working on that. I've been working on trying to get things ready and set up. It seems like we've had a lot of new students register, which is a great thing. What we don't know yet is how many of the kids that we thought were still going to be here, whether they're still here or not. We'll know that next week more, who shows up to come sit in the seats. But been trying to get things where they need to be and work with the special ed teachers. We also met yesterday with the AEA to work on kind of a vision and a planning for what we desire for special education in our system and how we want to make sure that we're working together with gen ed partners to do what we can to start kids, meet kids where they are and move them forward. So we're going to start working on some of that too. And I'm still working on analyzing all of the Iowa assessment ISASP data from last spring. So hopefully by next month, I'll have some growth data for you and some percentages and things that we can look at how we're doing, since we now have 2 data points for kids and where we are in relation to our growth with that assessment.
Thank you. Mrs. Neal?
Chair order.
You're on the right
You're
track.
gonna forget to go back to it. All right, so summer school went really well. We appreciate all the teachers that committed their time to it, and we really focused on some skills that we thought we were lacking from the Iowa assessments and from other data that from the spring. So it was, I thought, a good experience. We did a lot of real world learning with researching our animals because we went to the zoo at the end of the day. Thankful to the boost for helping us go to that, and just had a little buzz issue. Again, I'm not going on any more field trips this summer. I was twice trying to go, and but it worked out. We got to see the zoo animals, the ones that they researched. So I thought that was very beneficial for our kids. Right now we're just preparing for the new year with curriculum. Just talking about what Steve was talking about with new curriculum. I know Audrey and I are planning on being in classrooms and helping implementation for making that go smoothly. We have a new phonics program. We had PD just recently on our reading program at elementary, so that they can all see the same thing, hear the same things. So I think that's great moving forward.
Thank you. Ms. Heino?
So in the world of math, I'm just trying to help teachers with my curriculum. We're K-8 having curriculum, so we're planning lessons and using our new technology, and that's kind of what we're doing. You have an intervention program now that we're going to use for smaller groups, and the teachers in the summer kind of tried that out. The summer school teachers just got the feel for what that was like. There's some more components to it. We didn't use all the components, but we tried that out this summer, and just trying to figure out where that fits to in the classroom. So that's something we'll be exploring more, and once we have some data to determine what students need that smaller group and what level they need, then we have tools for them for that. As the liaison, I guess that's a role I took on this year with Ellen Ritter, and one thing we've been doing for that is just really trying to reach out to our families that were remote last year. That's our big focus right now. Making sure that the transition is really smooth for them, for the families, and just meeting their needs, whatever they have. So.
You've given building tours and different things.
Yep, we've given building tours, like if they didn't know how to register, school supplies, literally anything they wanted information on. We just are going to be there to serve families for whatever they need. Extracurricular activities, I sent them to the Park and Rec website. So.
And if both of you would maybe comment, we have spent a significant amount of money this summer from ESSER funds. The ESSER funds, again, are COVID mitigation as well as remediation and everything to bring kids up. But we've gotten a few things of that nature for interventions, if you maybe comment on those.
Yeah, for reading, we did buy some new intervention materials with ESSER funds, but that was about our new phonics program that we're going to be using for pre-K through third grade. And like to get some decodable books that will kind of help support the students with their reading. What else did I try to get out of you?
I'm not sure, you have manipulatives, right?
I'm still working on it.
So, my list, you kind of put me on the spot, I didn't have all those written down. Okay, so manipulatives, to make things more visual for kids in the classroom, that's something we ordered for K8. And we have math interventionists that we will have, so I'm trying to build a bank for them of resources that they'll have because they won't have a classroom, so materials for them. Manipulatives. The program that we tried out in the summer school, that was something from ESSER funds that we were able to purchase, and that is for all the way from kindergarten, just number core, to addition and subtraction, multiplication, division, and fractions. So really it spans also K-8, building a good number sense foundation. That was something we used ESSER funds for. Another thing that we have coming, I got an email about today, is a kit to help teachers in the classroom if their data shows that, they have too much of a gap or a need for small groups. So many, maybe less than 60% of their kids are proficient at the universal screener, which is the test everybody gets. I have some materials coming, ordered from ESSER funds for classroom teachers to use for that purpose. So we have really great tools now in math to build number sense, and just depending on where our needs are, our interventionists will use whatever makes sense just based on student needs.
So question for all of you, what's your feeling? Did we do some catching up with summer school? Are we still behind because of the lost time in 2020 and still have a long ways to go? Or
I will tell you after the first.
you'll tell me after you do the
His
testing.
first
right?
screener.
Universal screener.
I felt really good about, for some reason, I just thought summer school went really well. And I felt, again, we were addressing the needs that we needed to address. And I'm really proud of all the teachers and what they, did with the materials. We tried our new phonics program out, like she was talking about. Do I think that we're going to be behind still? Not everyone came to summer school like they should have, but
it's inevitable. We're still going to be behind.
Right.
You just can't lose it.
Right. We have been very explicit in targeting those kids since last year, day one, and doing everything we can to help them. So
don't know how the rest of the world that took a whole year off is ever going to catch you.
mm-hmm.
I got a head start on that.
But definitely
And
more
I guess my other
targeted.
question for you was, to get a feel from the families. Are we going to get them all back? Or are they going to homeschool? Or
We'll get a lot of them. We have a lot of families that are coming to school. And some of them, it's just interesting. All their needs are so different. Some are very nervous. Some are ready to be back. But yes, many of them are coming back to school with like I said, all sorts of feelings on what that's going to be like for them and their kids.
Still an unsettled.
Yeah.
Out there.
Well, there is. So, having tours where there's nobody in the building, that was something we did for families or offered. I know sometimes in theory that sounds great when you're the mom on the phone. Yes, I would like a private tour. In practice, oh man, I didn't schedule that tour. Like that's me, sometimes. So that was good intention. I just never follow through. That's okay. We saw some of them here today, so that was good. Just try to communicate with them what the schools are doing. And if they were not comfortable with a lot of people, we wanted to make sure that they had that on a smaller scale. So they were more comfortable and could ask questions and be in the school as long as they wanted. So.
Okay. Thank you.
Is Mr. Gerson on? I know he's got to jump off. Can you tell?
I'm actually here.
We're going to jump ahead since I know you've got to help out with the
fresh orientation, so.
And I know that you must just start.
Pardon my messy area. It's kind of crunch time. I think crunch time for everybody. But we are right now in the middle of assigning Chromebooks to students. Thank you, board, for purchasing a bunch of new Chromebooks. So third grade, we'll all get new Chromebooks, and then seventh grade will get new Chromebooks. And third grade will keep their Chromebook through the seventh grade, and then seventh grade they'll keep their Chromebook through the end of high school. And then I'm hoping to write a policy that would allow us to allow those students to potentially purchase that Chromebook for a very small amount of money so they could use it in college if they wanted it. That's one more incentive for them to take care of the Chromebook as well. So that helps us on that end. But big thanks to Robert Hemping, Michelle McDowell, Adam Snowgren, Robert Stouffer, Sean DeMoss, Chelsea Sanderson, Racy, Halterman, and Joseph Miller. We've been busting our butts, and those people especially have. Robert and Michelle, we were building these carts. We have all these clever carts in the elementary, excuse me. And the very first one we built took us an hour and a half, and I thought we were in big trouble because they came last week. And I showed up about 2 days later, and there were 9 built, and I about started crying. Seriously, because Robert and Michelle just did it, and it was totally unexpected, and we got them done, and we got them all in the carts, and they're awesome. And it's a really cool sight to see. I'd encourage you to pop over to the elementary for those. We got them up in the middle school. That was Adam Snowgren with over the whiteboard mounts. So been a busy summer, but it kind of all came to a head, and we got it all pretty much done. And a couple of finishing touches here at the end of this week, but come a long ways and done a lot this summer, and had a lot of really good help. So I'm very thankful for that.
And you might just comment, you did 3 days of Clever Touch training for.
Yeah. So let's see, that was last week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. We pulled as many teachers as we could, pretty much a one-to-one Clever Touch school. And I did training for those 3 days and had a lot of really good questions, and we made it interactive. So I shared, and then I made them go to the rooms and do it. And I prefaced the whole thing with, I graduated Buena Vista with a 512 business education degree, and I realized teaching was not for me. So I made sure they knew I was not a professional teacher, but I got a lot of really good feedback from them, and that was really good for everybody. And I should say I graduated BV with the intention to be a tech director, but they put me through the business education path with IT. That was that. I've always wanted to do this, and this is what BV gave me with the 512 stuff. So anyway, I'll stop babbling now.
Thank you.
We're glad you're here.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Mr. Gordon?
Well, the best news there is that he graduated,
Yeah.
so it's confirmed.
It's confirmed.
There was questions at the time, being a Vikings fan and all that.
Oh.
He made it.
Come on, my parents were surprised. I'll say that.
Hey, you're done. Mute yourself. There's just a few things I'll go with you here. We'll be live streaming all of our games at Lenduska now as well. Our Pixelot camera is set up. We'll get it calibrated on Friday morning, and then it'll be going Friday night for the scrimmage. So every game, varsity, JV, junior high, will be live streamed out here at the football field.
Yes.
And then also
Subscription.
at the high school gym as well, which we got that going last winter, but that's going now with no problems as well. And that's a subscription service through the NFHS, National Federation of High Schools. So again, the great thing about those cameras is they're automated. It's cutting edge technology, follows the ball. Nobody has to run it. We even get Doug piped in. At the high school, when he's doing basketball anyway, or whenever he's broadcasting, football we'll have to see, because I think it picks up crowd noise. And so whether it's some way we have to mute the crowd noise to get Doug with it, or I don't know. It might be Andy just being picked up too. I don't know, but those two things are set to go. Ticketing this year, 4 ways to ticket. We will take cash. We're encouraging exact change, but we will take cash again. We did purchase iPads and card readers, so we can take debit or credit cards at the gate as well. You can purchase tickets ahead of time through hometown ticketing. We also brought back the season passes or yearly passes, and those are digital through hometown ticketing. Those are taken care of online, and then it's on your phone. We did have a few people who don't have a phone, so Misty has made cards for them. So either way, but those are scanned and purchased online as well through hometown ticketing. A few things doing with kids this year, and leadership is a big focus that we're going to have this year. I purchased a program, a web-based program from a gentleman in Wisconsin. It's called the Leadership Playbook. Has so much curriculum on it about 1 or 2 minute videos and then discussion questions. So the coaches can do that. They actually get their teams registered on this as well. They can assign a lesson to the kids to go home and watch on a Tuesday night or something, and then come back Wednesday and talk about it, or they can just pull it up as well. So all of our coaches, when I say coaches, I'm talking about directors too. All of our programs are available to use that as well. The other thing I'm doing, every Tuesday morning at 7:43 a.m., I'm going to do a 15-minute leadership talk discussion with whoever shows up. It's just not for athletes. It's for any student who wants to show up. And we'll start in Mr. Tlean's room next Tuesday. Just going to talk about what a leader is, the traits of leadership, and then we'll do that every Tuesday, 35 Tuesdays throughout the year. The other thing I brought back this year, we started this my first year, is one-on-one coaching sessions with all of our head coaches and directors. So 19 of them. We'll do 4 meetings. So I'll do 76 different meetings with every head coach and director, talking about leadership, best practices, what's going well for them, what can I help them with. And they'll always choose one thing that they're going to work on between now and the next time we meet. And we'll meet every 3 or 4 months. And we'll start that in about mid-September, and it'll go all the way through May. So I'm excited to do that. When we started that, before we got derailed in 2020 in the spring, we had some great moments. And I learned as much as they did, hopefully, but just a chance to really invest in our coaches and our kids. But leadership's a big focus of what we're trying to do in the activities department this year. It is all the time, but I'm trying to be more intentional about it and take it that way as well. Last thing, excited to cross-country meet. Hopefully we have it. We haven't had one since I've been here. Right.
Like 4 years
So,
ago.
yeah, I think before I even got here. So it's not just me, evidently. But we moved that, brought it back to the golf course. Jeff and I have been out there 2 or 3 times. We finally got it finalized the other day, kind of got it all figured out. It's going to be fantastic. But we moved it off of Thursday. We didn't feel like we wanted to kick the men's league off of the golf course on Thursday night. So it's on a Saturday, actually. It's Saturday, the Iowa State game,
Oh.
but we're running it early. What are you?
You're just going.
Cheat sheets. Mute. I can't. Grant, can you mute? Ms. Neal, please. But it's going to be on Saturday, 10 o'clock. We'll run about 4 races. We'll be done in a couple hours. Really grateful to the golf course to allow us to do that. And Jeff's worked hard on it. We've worked hard to get the course ready, and but it'll be nice to have it here. It's a great location. Like Spring Lake was nice, but it wasn't real user or fan friendly to watch because they disappeared, right? So out here, the golf course, I've always enjoyed doing cross country meets on golf courses because you can just go fairway to fairway. Or out here, man, you can stand up on 9. We'll start on 1, we finish on 9, coming right towards the clubhouse. It could be a great finish. So we're excited to get it back out here and do a no rain dance on the 10th. That's it.
Thank you.
Unmute.
Should probably mute.
Got a new bus in 1st of July, thank you. It's set to be put out on a route right away. Received our new JCB a couple weeks ago with all the attachments for that as well. Thank you again. Just kind of some of the summer stuff up, and Mr. Zanders said a lot for us here. Is we got a really good team working together. At any point in time, you know, you can find various people on lawnmowers, various people moving stuff, not necessarily in their building, but in somebody else's building helping. We got a ton of work done last year with the construction going on. I think and the whole COVID thing, I think things were just blah. And I think everybody's taken a lot of pride in what has happened as far as, the new school and the remodeling here. We did some remodeling at the elementary with the new floor in the lunchroom, and just a lot of pride, I think, in our staff, and hopefully it'll translate through to our teachers and our students as well. So thanks for bearing with last year, and very hopeful and thankful for this year. So.
Mr. Johnson, are you on? No. Mr. Phillips?
Maybe you can talk about that, and then
Try again.
maybe we'll try again and see if they're.
Last couple of years down. Tim gave my family, all my kids are back here this last weekend, a tour of the school. And I was exceptionally proud of how it looked. I hadn't been through since kind of all the classroom material was in there. And and my daughter-in-law was originally from Chicago, and my daughter's fiance from Los Angeles area said, "This looks like a private school. This doesn't look like a public school." So my future son-in-law developed this program with a couple, 3 friends in the Los Angeles area, and kicked it off out there, and he's trying to get it kind of going in Des Moines schools. And I said my family was together, he said, "Well, we really need to teach the adults to do these things before we worry about kids." But it's a character building program. It's called Do the Math 24/7. It's not 24 to 47, it's 24/7. Do the math 24/7. Positive message using the universal language of math to promote a better humankind. So you add respect. So for the plus sign, add respect, kindness, honesty, forgiveness. Divided, I'm not sure how you use that. I say by 1 because we're better together. Equals, we're all created equal. Multiply all that by love, peace, unity, understanding, and subtract the racism, bullying, hate, and stereotypes. And for that, we have a better humankind. So I don't know whether it's something that anybody here wants to use, clubs or administrators. He would love to come talk to you. He's got t-shirts which I'm wearing, as fundraisers, and he's got a ton of these things. These are bookmarks. Rick and I don't know how to use them. I don't know whether anybody else. Yeah, phones, no. I battled with that today earlier, as Brenda will tell you. So, anyway, just food for thought.
That's good.
Yeah.
Cool. Thank you.
Yeah. See you one more time.
Do you want me to?
I was gonna say, somebody can
Scott,
call Scott
I
and Brian and see if they could jump on for a few minutes. Because we can't start the other until 6:30.
Okay.
6:15,
6:30, just want to 6:30.
doesn't it say?
6:30.
Oh, okay.
That makes up.
I thought it said, yeah. I looked at-
Well, it ends. I don't have Brian. They
They
usually eat and there's nothing to eat
All
tonight,
those
so.
guys. Yeah.
Hey, Scott, they would like you to talk on the board. You want to jump on to the link? Yes, he does. He's looking at me right now. Okay. Bye. He's gonna head to his office. So give him a minute. I don't have Brian's number.
So Dr. Carver, I'm looking at the site here for Do the Math 24/7. Is your son one of these in this?
Son-in-law.
Son-in-law to
Son-in-law?
be, to be.
To be, is it Jessica? Wow.
No, I think
Or is
that's,
this
I think that's just a group of kids in a school,
Okay,
that they were in.
all right. So, this is a group, he's an educator, obviously.
No, actually, he worked for Wells Fargo Bank. He's a quality insurance person. at Wells Fargo. So those pictures are probably all from the last year, so that's what we do.
That's your treat. That's what you get.
Or movie,
I'm ready for soccer.
originally from Oregon, then moved to Los Angeles.
Now moving.
Nothing. He lost his mother and moved here for a different job opportunity and environment.
Did he say he was gonna try or?
He was walking back to his office to get on, so
And he could have got stopped several times in the hall.
probably. Or he's just trying to find a link.
Yeah, well, where was that? Where's the board documents? Go
So,
there. Oh, you're not gonna find it on this one. You can need to go to your email and find the email link I gave you. Sorry, Amanda. You don't see that.
so Brenda, is all this is still on Chromebook like usual? 'Cause I have no idea.
I sent you a link that you could have clicked on that would have taken you to the agenda, and on every agenda item, there's a place to click.
But each time I clicked it, it wanted to go to my
There he is.
email address, which was one that my son put on my computer for
I saw that.
their
I
pictures.
saw
I
that.
have no idea what the,
How that works.
Hello. Ms. Johnson.
what the best.
Hey, how's it going?
Good, and you?
Doing well, doing well. I was out and about with mini conferences. So, yeah, going very well right now. We doing mini conferences right now, so that's going well. As of about 2 hours ago, we now have 100 students in kindergarten.
Wow.
Yeah, so yeah, that's kind of a nice problem to have. So that's going well. And I'm thinking right now also in pre-K, if just kind of rough estimate guesses, we're in the mid 80s for pre-K kids. So next 2 years are looking good for number wise anyway. 5 new staff teachers here at the elementary. They're all on board, doing very well. Just very excited about this school year, back to a little bit more of a normalized year. Everybody who is coming back to school right now, all the parents, kids are really excited to be getting back into the building and ready to roll. So yeah, and then I guess the other big thing in the elementary is the clever touches. Teachers are starting to get those. It's kind of fun. They've actually got them up. A lot of them have them up and running in their classroom and have it kind of so it's on the whiteboard piece of it. And as the kids are coming in, they're all signing their names onto the clever touch. So kind of using it that way. So already getting that in use. So any question?
Well, we can't meet for another half an hour. Can you fill?
Well, let's see.
Floor show.
Oh, we did. We got it. We got a new floor in the lunchroom, so it won't be carpet anymore. Our HVAC has been updated, so that's nice. The rooms are staying a little bit more consistent with temperature wise, so that's good too.
What kind of attendance are you having for the mini conferences?
Right now, talking to a lot of the teachers, I'd say we're probably 85 to 90%. A lot of the teachers, like Mrs. Baker and Mrs. Molick, they have 24 and 25 in their classroom, and they had all their kids sign up. I would say, yeah, easily above 80% on that. So,
Mr. Sanders, any idea how many you had come?
We were less than 50, probably 5, 8, much higher with 5th grade.
Yeah.
And lower with the older kids, but somewhere in the half.
If you got nothing else, I guess.
I got nothing else. Well, let me think here.
Teachers had a tie knot or something.
You scared the summer school children with your beard.
This is true. I did.
I like it.
It's funny. One of our little summer school kids, actually, I stepped in the classroom, and after I left, they asked the teacher, who was that? And they said, Mr. Johnson. And they said, no, it wasn't. That wasn't Mr. Johnson.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Makes you look older.
makes me look older. There you go.
You're not just a kid anymore.
Yeah, he's not.
Okay. All right. Well, if nothing else, I will probably sign off and I will see you after mini conferences are done.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Thank you much.
Restroom break, I would say, yeah, meeting adjourned and we'll be back here at 6:30.
What time during the cases?
Beer and my
Yeah, go get us some cake. Yeah.
She would get off, she wouldn't have anything to do with me.
Yeah, maybe Laura's got some granola stuff. There we go. Oh, we skipped over. So that's a little, and revisited. We haven't done it since. Now, it's okay, you know, you explain this over and tell us something.
Thanks, Mr. DeMoss.
You know I don't talk.
Thank you.
That's your interest.
But anyway. You decided over and get back on.
City council.
We're kind of. We're kind of lost.
Yep. Sorry, I thought I had lost. Thank you.
Right now. See about planning. Well, I still haven't heard from her. By this morning. And said, hey, what time are you coming today? I didn't know you still wanted me to do that.
AEA.
These litter stayed outside. And so then I said,
That'll do it.
So that'll do it.
It's a sign.
Just used to be.
Right.
I'm really sorry. And I said, never mind, I'll handle it. I'm trained. Always there. And then she said, call me, and I didn't answer that. And I'm like, you know, I'm talking to you right now.
Right.
No,
Yeah, I'd be happy to help.
That's what she does.
so then she started sending an email. Guess
Yeah.
Let's call the regular meeting, of the Greene County Community School Board to order.
It's like froze up.
Oh.
Brently.
There
we go.
Perfect.
Did you do anything or just?
No, I think Brent took back.
Just say you did, Laura.
District vision mission, promoting lifelong learners through real world experiences. Roll call.
Denhart.
Here.
Fisher.
Here.
McConnell.
Here.
Wilson. Here. Carver.
Here. There's a motion to approve the agenda.
Move we approve the agenda.
Second.
Moved by Fisher, second by Denhart to approve the agenda. Please call the roll.
Wilson.
Aye.
McConnell.
Aye.
Denhart.
Aye.
Fisher.
Aye.
Carver.
Aye. Open forum. This is a time when any individual would like to talk about something that's not on the agenda. If it's on the agenda, you can ask to comment at the time that we get to that subject. So,
I'd like to.
okay.
My name is Cindy Wise, and I want to start going to our school board meetings. Is what I'd like to share with you tonight, that my daughter graduated in 2003, and during all her schooling, I never went to one school board meeting. Now it's 2021, 13 or 18 years later, and I'm getting to my first school board meeting, except maybe one other one. And I don't know, I just want it on record that I feel like that was kind of irresponsible of me over the years. I want to publicly, in a way, I guess I'm saying I want to apologize for that. And if I start coming to the school board meetings, you know, I'm not always going to have something, you know, that I want to talk about and present. But I really do want to be involved in school board meetings. So after, you know, I'm 65 now, I'm ready to go to school board meetings after all these years. Anyway, that's all I really want to say.
If you're technologically advanced, you can do it remotely, or you can come in person.
You know, I'm old school.
Happy to have you.
I'm old school, so I like
So
to
am
be
I.
in person.
You're in luck because you could get on the ballot.
Not now.
You're gonna learn first.
I think first, well, like up until a week or so ago, I didn't even know what night school board meetings were on, what time they started. Tonight, I didn't know where it was even held, you know? So I don't think I'm so ready for that. But, yes.
We want keepers.
Thank you for your
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
I'm glad you're coming, Cindy.
Thank you for
Thanks.
your
And I wish more people would. I mean, I think it's awesome when people show up to come to meetings.
Yeah.
I used to go to a lot of meetings
Did
before I
you?
got on the board.
Yeah.
It's a really good thing for, I think,
It
for
is
the
a
school
good
to know
thing.
that people are there and care
Yeah.
and that they want to participate in whether it's a school function, so that.
Thank you. You're welcome.
Okay, consent items. As part of that, we have an additional middle school associate that offered and signed a contract today, Brandy Kirk. I think that's the only other
And
change,
there's more,
right?
and then
And
there's more
then-
bills.
And then, yeah, some additional bills to each one of the funds. So any questions about consent items? And a motion to approve them.
I'd move we approve the consent items. Second.
Moved by Wilson, second by Denhart by Fisher, second by Denhart to approve the consent items. Please call the roll.
McConnell.
Aye.
Denhart.
Aye.
Fisher. Wilson.
Aye.
Carver.
Aye.
Skip right over you.
Sorry. Okay, old business.
Nothing.
We're new on everything.
We're new on everything.
Okay.
Moving forward.
Any board committee reports? Anybody have any activity? Okay. And we've had the administrators' reports. Other than
Phillips on?
Brian.
Mr. Phillips, if he's available.
Do you want to see if Brian's available?
I'm looking, I'm trying.
Don't get yourself kicked out. They leave well enough alone.
No, I don't know. This thing is slow tonight.
Other reports or correspondence? Okay. We'll go to treasurer's report. Sid Jones, our official treasurer.
Hi, everybody. Hi, Sid. Do you have these on your screen or in front of you or something?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So same routine, different year. But just kind of a reminder of how we go through this. We just go through the funds and we say where we started and what our receipts are and what our expenditures are and how we ended up. So if you look at the general fund, you can see that the treasurer's balance, so this would be the balance on your statement, not the balance necessarily in Brenda's checkbook. So the treasurer's balance was $436,154. Investments as of July 1 of a year ago was $2,942,000. So we had total assets in that account at that time of $3,378,154. Receipts during the year, $15,662,821.94. Total assets now to account for $19,040,976.54. Expenditures, $15,988,408.34. So we had total treasure assets as of June 30th of 21 of $3,052,568.20. Of that, $2,655,000 were investments accounts, and $397,568.20 was checking account. So each one of these funds goes through and does it the exact same. I'll just kind of read through them quick. So management fund started at $1,1197, had investments at $295. Total assets to account for $296,197. Receipts $686,247.28. So we had total assets to account for $92,359. Expenses $516,799. Total assets in this account at the end of the year was $465,560.01. $465,000 of that were invested in $560.01. Capital projects fund $11,402.67. Was at the beginning of the year with investments of $3,223,446. Total assets beginning with $3,234,887. Receipts of $2,889,191.15 gave us total assets to account for $6,123,988.18. Capital funds expenditures during the year $6,093,599.15. At the end of the year, we had $30,399, which we will account for and $75 of that was invested balance in the checking. Sales tax fund $13,205.60. Securities or investments at that point $9,186,956.40. So we had total assets beginning the year in that account of $9,200,162. Receipts $199,14,855.76. So we had total assets to account for $11,150,17.76. Expenditures out of that account $10,005,827. Total assets at the end of the year in that account $1,109,836.49, of which $1,175,000
The PEPAL fund, 12,344.68, started the year with 418,000 in investments, for a total of 430,344.68. Receipts into that fund during the year, $1,306,633.45. Total assets to account for, $1,732,978.13. Expenditures, $949,884.30. Total assets in that account in the capital fund was $783,093.83, with $782,000 of that invested, and $1,093 checking. The debt service fund, $71,014.52 is in the checking account. Investments of $1,960. Total assets, $71,106.12. Receipts during the year, $2,095,860.02. Total assets to account for, $2,166,966.14. Expenditures of $1,979,418.75. Total assets in this account of $187,547.39. Investments was $86,681.6, leaving $1,066.13 in the checking account. Any questions on any of those balances? Any comments, Brenda? Good. Statement of deposits in, where your money is invested in the banks or all listed on the list. So you got Home State Bank. We have investments in our bank of $1,135,000. And People's had 505,323.69 in active funds, 3,902 investments for 4,407,323.69, and 86,000 is in your escrow account. Total assets at the end of the year there, cash assets, $5,629,495. I looked just so you can know what it was last year. And you've been spending a little money on some projects. So it was $16,610,686 the year before. So that just shows that construction process and those things down. Then I reconcile the balance sheet, the statements back to Brenda's checkbook, and that's what happens here. So the statement to the general account would have $397,568.20 as the balance. Outstanding checks, $396,521.07. Outstanding deposits, $590,998. Left Brenda's checkbook balance of $1,638.11. Each one of the accounts does the very same thing. The general accounts really good at this, so you can see the next reconciling the projects. Question?
Thank you for your work.
His work is good.
And next, we need to swear you and Brenda in. So if you would both stand, you will solemnly swear that you will support the Constitution of the United States, the Constitution of the State of Iowa, and that you will faithfully and impartially, to the best of your ability, discharge the duties of the office of school board treasurer and school board secretary, respectively, in the Greene County Community School District as now and hereafter required by law. Thank you for your service.
You guys have a good night. Thank you.
I'm not staying.
You're not gonna stay.
You've been to a few already, though. So.
Okay. Return to learning.
I think you've got a copy of Return to Learn plan, and again, like we talked about last month, students and staff are more than welcome to wear masks. So based on Iowa legislation, as a school board, as superintendent, administrators, we're not in a position to require any masking on school property. Cleaning, again, we'll continue to clean basically from the level of custodians. We'll do the cleaning. We will make cleaning products available if a student would want to clean their desk, but not going to put teachers in a position like they were last year where they were cleaning every desk in between every class. That we're going to look out for their best interest as well. So, transportation, students and staff again are can wear masks on the bus if they so desire. We're not going to require that. Contact tracing. similar to the way that we ended the school year, contact tracing is not done. If we do have a positive case, we will put out a blast that there was a positive case in whatever building it was. We're not going to go down to classroom level, but we will notify people. And again, if there is a positive case, there will still be a requirement that that individual be out for 10 days from the onset of their symptoms. There's no quarantining of students or anybody as well, somewhere, rather than contact tracing. So there's no quarantining. Parents are more than willing, or more than welcome, if they feel that their child is exposed, they can quarantine. But related to that, remote learning, there is not a remote learning option this year. We're not going to, again, have teachers teaching their classroom as well as computer. I guess related to that, similar to last year, the expectation is the teachers have essentially everything in Google Classroom or Seesaw. So if a student, whether they're sick from having a cold or flu, or whether they have COVID or quarantine, they would be able to access all information on Chromebook. The one extra step they would probably have if somebody's out 10 days, ask the teacher to make an arrangement to maybe call the student, at day 5 or something, and just have a conversation over the phone with them, if there's any help they need or anything like that. But it's not going to be live teaching over Chromebook like last year. And we will allow visitors in school, again, more along the lines and, making sure approved by the principal. So, we don't want everybody and their brother coming in, but, there will be, for academic purposes, allow people into schools. So that's kind of the information. Again, we're very, again, not saying I want to go there, but based on legislation and everything, I would say we're back to normal as possible. The message that I've been trying to give people and will give staff tomorrow when I speak to them, again, to me, the message that we need to have for everybody is we need to look at our health in general and promote positive health. It's not necessarily about COVID. It's COVID, it's cold and flu, it's all those things. So, we need to maintain personal space of 4 feet. I know that's not the same as 6, but we need to encourage personal space. We need to cover when you're cough. You need to wash your hands. You need to stay home when you're sick. We need to do all those things now and moving forward. Again, because today we're talking about COVID, but next week it could be something else. So we need to be very conscious of personal health and those things. So that's the message that I want to give people. So questions that anybody would have. My goal would be to would approve this. I mean, if there's a change, that's fine. But
So they return to school after 10 days from onset of symptoms, not
Correct.
necessarily from date of testing.
Correct, onset of symptoms.
And that's based on whatever they tell you or
Correct.
whatever our history is.
Yeah.
Can they return early with negative tests?
Yeah, if they have a negative testing,
Yeah, if they test positive, but then they turn around and want to come back early, can they get a negative?
I
test
would-
to be back in, or
I would.
I'm not sure I know what.
I would assume that the same criteria that we ended the year last year with, that the 7 days and 5 days,
Yeah.
you can come back in 7 days if you have a negative test after 5 days. But if you deny, the other challenging thing, I'm not encouraging it, but somebody who doesn't feel well and doesn't get tested, just like any other illness, come back after, you don't have a fever and things of that nature. So it's, we have very limited, again, control, and I'm not saying I want to have
The last item, visitors in school. So anybody's going to be allowed to come in, but they need to check with the administration before they can come in the door, or just go through the office like they normally would. And
correct, and we're hoping that it's for academic purposes. We don't necessarily want everybody coming into the building.
so we're going to discourage at this point just people coming in for
probably don't want parents to come in and have lunch with their kids. But one thing that teachers really missed last year, and I get it, is to be able to have that speaker come in and present to the class. You know, we want to get back to that for educational purposes. And again, I would consider, we talked before about board coming to lunch. I consider that for an educational purpose, personally.
Okay, so would you like us to approve?
I would like you to approve that, yes.
Okay, motion to approve.
I move that we approve the return to work for 21-22.
Second.
Moved by Wilson, seconded by McConnell to approve the Greene County School Return to Work 2021-22 plan. Please call the roll.
Fisher.
Aye.
Denhart.
Aye.
McConnell.
Aye.
Wilson.
Aye.
Carter.
Aye. Okay. I got kind of lost in all of the reading.
There's a lot of
But
board
there's
policy nonsense, isn't
there's
there?
some school publication, student personnel stuff that's rescinded and replaced and add new. So Series 500 that has rescind on the front of it, if you have it in paper, which includes about 6 pages, is that correct?
Yeah, and these are recommendations from Iowa School Board Association. The school publication is rescinded. If you followed the legislature this year, and it was almost, I mean, I'm not saying it was, the policies go against each other, but there was a lot of discussion about freedom of speech. But then on the other side, there was we're looking at limiting of speech as well. But in terms of student publications in particular, this policy was more limiting, that the new policy has more freedoms. There's more, again, you can't still yell fire or anything like that. But another one of so I'll kind of talk about those together. Another one of the things in the school publication, if a teacher is defending a student that put something in there, they can't be, I hate to say the cancel culture, but disciplined for looking out for student, so there's some of that in the new policy that wasn't in the old policy. Again, this is first reading, so I'd encourage you to look at them closer.
So we don't need to approve anything, we just.
Yes, you have to approve the first reading or the first, rescind.
So this 6 pages is going to be replaced by student expression, student publications.
Correct.
Which is a 2-page document, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. And then the last part has to do with employees.
Yeah, the one, if you look at the public participation in school board meetings is one that I want to talk about a little bit, that is a big change that people need to know about. We still have a process that, again, we encourage people to follow to get on the school board agenda. They need to start at the lowest level. If they would have a concern with the teacher, that they would speak with the teacher, then speak with the building principal, then speak with myself. And then if they still didn't have satisfaction, would communicate with a school board member, talk to board president, and then they could get on the agenda. But there is a new, again, procedure process that I'd emailed you about previously, that if 10% of the voters sign a petition, 10% that voted in the previous election, they can automatically get something on the school board agenda. It's more along the lines of a public hearing and not necessarily an agenda item. They could speak to it like Cindy did. The board wouldn't necessarily have to speak.
But someone can still, if they want to get an item on the agenda, talk to a board member or you and get it put on the agenda.
Yeah, you can still go through the process.
Right.
But, again, I'm going to use an example that is a non-example. But let's say tonight you approved, we're mandating masks. But again, obviously you can't do that. But if there was 10% of the people in the previous election signed a petition, said they want to come to the board and speak to that, they're automatically on the agenda in order to be able to speak to that. They don't have to go through a process of, you know, the lowest level and principal and superintendent and then school board, if that makes sense.
Can they bring the petition right to the board meeting, or do they have to show
No,
it to you before?
it's very clear in here.
Within 30 days.
Within 30 days, I mean, it needs to be on the board agenda within 30 days of petitions coming. There's a sign-up sheet, you know, that the board president then determines, you know, how many, you know, if there was 10 people that wanted to speak and we were gonna allocate 30 minutes to it, then we give 3 minutes per person to speak.
Is this a recommendation, this change in from the school board association?
Yes, this is from the school board association.
This is supposed to be in cahoots with the new laws.
Correct, yeah, this is a law. We've gotta do it.
That's what I'm saying.
Yes.
This is written by their legal
Correct.
team to adhere to the law.
Excuse me, Tim, do you know about how many 10% would be in our district?
Like, again, it's the previous election.
Yes.
In my head, there was 660. In my head, there was about 600 that voted in the last board election.
Okay.
Does it have to be the board election, or is it just the last election?
It's the last election, but that's, you know, theoretically, if you were looking at the bond issue, you know, there may have been 400 people that voted. If that was the last election, that would be a much different thing.
Okay.
But, you know, for us, you know, again,
It's a moving target.
it's a moving target, yes. So however many vote in the November election, that's what we're dealing with for the next.
It's not the November election, the general election is the ones who vote for school-related issues, or is it?
That's,
Well, now they're on top of each other.
that would be a question that I don't know, because you're
But now
getting
they're on
one,
top of each
you're
other.
getting one ballot, aren't you?
Yeah,
So it's probably the general.
it's November.
But again, that's a complete new concept.
That could become.
But that takes effect only if the board refuses to allow something on the agenda.
Or they choose to not do it.
They're actually two different things.
Okay.
You know,
Fast this last year.
again, parent A that's upset with, again, teacher grading or something of that nature. They talk to the teacher, don't get satisfaction. Talk to the principal, don't get satisfaction. Talk to the superintendent, don't get satisfaction. Then talk to a board member, then they can put it on the agenda. It can be an item that we're openly discussing. But if they choose not to do that, they can go through this petition process. But then theoretically, it's like open forum. As a board, you don't have to interact with those people, but they have an opportunity to get on the agenda and speak to that issue.
But I assume they still can't speak to, like, criticize us.
Yeah, they still
Say
can't.
teachers, yeah.
Correct. Open forum decorum is still in place.
Defamatory comments may be subject to legal action.
Who defines being critical? President?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. All right.
But again, that's a change. Then the student expression one is the one that kind of replaced the publications there a little bit. Employee expression. Excuse me. The student expression. Again, just trying to give more encouragement of students to be able to freely express themselves. The one example they give in some of this that I don't really care for it as an example, but and I don't want to touch anybody's hot buttons here, but climate change. One of the examples they write is if a teacher gives an assignment, English teacher, that asks the students to write a paper about climate change and expectation that they cite scientific and all of that, and the student writes about thinks climate change is hooey and and give a failing grade to the student. that's legitimate because they did not do the assignment. But if the assignment is to write about climate change, your opinion, all that kind of stuff, and if they would write climate change as HUI, and the teacher fails them, essentially the view is that they failed them because they didn't like their paper. That is, again, it's in here, it's grounds for potential termination, it's grounds for going to the Board of Education examiners and having a license pulled. You know, they're taking a hard stance on limiting freedom of expression, you know, in particular students. But
You can have a difference of opinion, you just have to express it in the way the assignment required.
correct, and
You have to cite.
And again, you could have you got a name on your paper because it was a well-written paper, but you know, I don't agree with you, and we can have that conversation.
Sure.
But I can't, essentially
Yeah.
take that out on you. I mean, so there's fine lines in some of the stuff. Employee expression. Again, one of the big things there that I'll be talking to staff about is social media posts and those things. They're taking a very harsh stance on that as well. You know, there's again a fine line between freedom of expression but expressing stuff on social media that result in having a negative impact on your job and school and those things. Again, the student publication, there's more, like I say, I would say that it opens it up more to, again, more freedom for your book and different things. Recording devices on school property.
Isn't that kind of tough with cell phones?
That's related more to, a big part is our devices, but yeah, there is.
It says non-district generated.
Talks about non-districts too, yeah.
I mean, that's.
And then there's also a slight change to the weapons one that kind of, I guess, opens it up a little bit more for people with proper, I guess, certification and everything to be able to carry weapons on school property. But questions on those, again, I would encourage you to take some time to read them. I mean, it's.
We need a motion to approve the first reading.
First reading of, you need to list all these?
I will do that.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
Take
okay.
need to be first reading.
Second.
They moved and seconded, first reading. Policies, rescind, replace, and add, as listed by board secretary. Please call the roll.
Denhart. McConnell. Wilson. Fisher. Carver. Did I say yes?
Question?
I have a
That's
question.
right over you.
Can I have a copy of the policy? Can just the public have a copy of the policy? Is there a way to download that just at home, from home?
This is the first reading, so we haven't.
They're not official yet.
Yeah. But then
Do you have
after
an email
they're,
address that I could send it to?
yeah,
I'll have Laura help me do that. She knows your email as well.
yeah, yeah. Thank you.
Or stop in and we'll bring you a copy.
Okay.
Okay. So do we
You'll,
need to rescind this, or we have
We're
to
gonna
do
do-
that at the next meeting?
we're gonna do all of them
All
again
of them
next week.
readings, okay.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure what the rescission part.
Usually it
Understand
doesn't
the new
take, usually it doesn't take 2 readings, but as long as, since they're all kind of connected, I think it's best to do goes that way. So,
Okay. We got a fundraising request, head football coach. I think that's the only one, right?
this, yeah.
We can approve that.
So we approve the fundraising request for the grant football cards. Second.
Moved and seconded to approve the fundraising request by Coach Duncan. Please call the roll.
Wilson. Aye. McConnell.
Aye.
Denhart.
Aye.
Fisher.
Aye.
Carver.
Aye.
I have a question about that, and we've approved it. We had talked at one time of having a time when they had to get all their funds, and that never, ever. Is that still something that you would like to do? Or-
It is, and
Because I'm pretty sure I've already been hit up for one of these
Correct,
cards.
I wasn't tremendously happy about that. Yeah.
Maybe I thought, maybe even twice a year that we do that, or 3 times a year.
People don't want us playing.
What? Right.
Okay. Board policy review, 7:09 to 7:11.
I did not see any changes other than one of the policies, but we're actually looking at rescinding this in that grouping. Got that,
That's the recording device part.
get that rescinded policy memorized.
Okay. We have a motion to approve the board policy as redone, which includes reception of use of recording devices, Series 700.
I'll move that.
Just like that, that's how you do that.
Or did you do it?
No. I'll second that.
Moved and seconded. Approve the board policy review of 7:09 to 7:11.8. Please call the roll.
McConnell.
Aye.
Denhart.
Aye.
Wilson. Aye. Fisher.
Aye.
Carver.
Aye. Okay, superintendent's report.
If you would see a Rotarian in the next couple weeks, Rotary Club put on a nice luncheon on Monday for new teachers at the elementary. They want to do a better job of, kind of making a connection with individual teachers. They've kind of somewhat assigned a Rotarian to each one of the teachers to maybe periodically check with them over the year, which I thought was a nice gesture. They had a goodie bag for them and everything, so that was a nice thing. Would like to invite all of you. The Early Learning Center is having a groundbreaking ceremony Friday morning, 10 o'clock, just kind of northeast of the existing building. So I invite you to that. Then want to remind you of dedication ceremony Sunday at 1:30 in the high school gym. Originally, I was going to have all the board members set up front, but now I'm going to have the boss set up front, so you guys and gals can sit in the crowd, and at that point in time, I'll announce name and just ask you to stand up. And then open house for the middle school and high school from 2:30 to 4:30 on Sunday. And have some students and some staff that are going to help out with that and kind of direct traffic and answer questions. Looking forward to that. And I've heard some positive comments in the public. People, really want to see the buildings and everything. So it's great. That's all. I like that.
Is there early?
I think as long as, like I said, as long as you're there by 1:15.
Okay. Yeah. My family was going to get together for a tour. I told them we are working on school administrators' time, not on doctors' time.
What's that mean?
Well, doctors are always 15 minutes late. And if you aren't in class, when the bell rings, you're tardy.
I was ready to go 10 minutes before the hour.
So, meeting adjourned.
Thanks, everybody.